Hey everyone, if you are like most people, then the same psychology that applies to everyone else applies to you with regard to the price of Bitcoin. And if you check the price of Bitcoin like 50 times a day, like I do, then you might have checked it earlier today and thought, wow, $94,000 per coin. That's the highest Bitcoin has ever been in history. New all-time high. That's amazing. And then if you went to a late lunch and came back an hour and a half later, you would have seen that Bitcoin was $93,700, which is sort of a downer. Now, is $93,700 the highest it's ever been other than about an hour before that? Yes. Still higher than it's ever been in history other than about an hour before you checked. But impossible for human psychology not to feel like, oh, it's down. I saw 94, but now I only see 93. Well, a couple of more hours later, it was bouncing around and I checked the price and it was 91,500. Once again, it feels like, oh, it's down. So any asset, you have to understand, any asset, the best performing assets in the world, which would be the Magnificent Seven, which is Microsoft, Nvidia, Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Google, and one or two other as I'm forgetting. It's called the Magnificent Seven. If you watch the price 50 times a day, you'd feel the same way. Almost never would they be at an all-time high. Almost always they would feel like they're down from a higher number that you can remember. And the reason for that is you can always remember a higher price than the one you're looking at, unless it's the one time in the day where you happen to check it on a record-breaking day, when you happen to check it for that tiny little window when it is actually a record high, before you check it again later when it's slightly back down. So, how does this affect your buying behavior? For most people, what happens is they check their phone, they see the price of Bitcoin, and they think, wow, that's really high. I really wish I had bought a lot more Bitcoin when it wasn't this high. Because if I had bought more Bitcoin before it was this high, I'd have a lot more Bitcoin, and the value would be much higher. But then they're like, but I really don't want to buy it at an all-time high. I mean, it's a record. Like, it's so expensive. Now, you got to realize at $94,000, people thought it was expensive. I was there at $9,400 when people were saying, $9,400? That is really expensive. Like, that is just extremely expensive Bitcoin. Now, had you actually bought $9,400 Bitcoin, you'd be up 1,000%, 10 times your money, 1,000% return if you bought when everybody was saying $9,400 Bitcoin was really expensive. Same was the case when Bitcoin was $940. Same was the case when it was $94. Same was the case when it was $9.40. Same was the case when it was 94 cents. Same was the case when it was 9.4 cents. Every single price that's a new all-time high, it seems expensive. And that will continue to be the case. At 100,000 a coin, it will feel really expensive. 200,000 a coin, it will feel really expensive. At every price, it's going to feel really expensive. And here's the really interesting thing. As soon as the price retreats, suddenly people are not as excited anymore. So if you check the price and it's 94,000, and then you check later in the day and it's 91 or 92 or 93, you're thinking, back when it was 94, you're thinking, as soon as it comes back a little bit, I'm going to buy more. I'm finally going to buy all that Bitcoin that I said I was going to buy. I'm going to do it this time. And then it retreats and it's like, oh, but it's down. Now I'm not sure that I really want to buy that Bitcoin that I was going to buy because it's down. And there's probably good reason it's down. And maybe if it's down, maybe it's trending down. Maybe it's just trending down and I'm buying at the wrong time on the way down. And so most people, when they see Bitcoin the highest it's ever been, their thought is, "Oh, I wish I had bought more when it was cheaper." Then it comes down and becomes a little bit cheaper. And they're like, oh, but I don't really want to. I don't feel that same conviction now. I'm just not sure I want it at this price. What if it keeps going down? I mean, it's going down. It's lower than the new all-time high I saw earlier today. Better just watch it. And so then they watch it. And then it turns around. And then it goes up to 96, 97, 100,000. And they're like, wow, I really wish I had bought Bitcoin back when it was 94,000 or 93 or 92 or 91. I didn't. And 100 is so expensive. And do I really want to buy a $100,000 Bitcoin? I know what I'll do. I'll wait for it to go on sale for a few $1,000s. Then I'll buy a bunch of Bitcoin. Then it does. It goes from 100 down to 99, 98, or 97. And people are like, I don't know, it's going down. I just don't feel like I have that same conviction that I had back when it was so high that I wish I had bought it. And it happens over and over and over and over. And that's why so few people end up with a bunch of Bitcoin because they just can't get over that mental hurdle of not wanting to buy when it seems expensive, but then also not wanting to buy when the price comes down because they're worried because the price is down and they just don't have the same conviction. So when the price is high, they have high conviction and low willingness to purchase. And then when the price comes down, they have low conviction, but then also low willingness to purchase because of the low conviction. So the people who make a lot of money on any investment are the people that are smart enough to know you can't time the market, that time in the market is better than time in the market, that timing the market's impossible, and that all you can do is buy Bitcoin and sit on it for as long as possible. That's all you can do. If you All you can do is buy Bitcoin and sit on it as long as possible. And that's the magic. That's literally the magic of Bitcoin is buy as much Bitcoin as you possibly can and then sit on it as long as conceivably possible. It's literally the formula is absolutely that simple. So here we are. I think it's, 92,000 a coin, 91,900 a coin. Whatever Bitcoin you are waiting to buy, just buy it. It's not that hard. Just buy it. You'll be glad you did. At some point, it's going to make a huge run to, I don't know, 110, 120,000 a coin. Then it'll hang around there. We've been bouncing around in high 80s to low 90,000s for like a week now. And before that, we spent 7 months bouncing around between 55,000 and 70,000. So, if you think one week is painful, we just finished 7 months bouncing around between 55 and 70. And, now that we're through that, we're likely to take a huge run. And, we'll hang around a whole long time at, I don't know, 120, 160, 210. Nobody knows. But what matters is, did you actually buy all the Bitcoin you thought you wanted to buy or were thinking about buying or should have had the conviction to buy? Did you buy it? So that when it's bouncing around at 120 or 140 or 160, instead of stressing yourself out trying to decide whether you should buy it, the price is up there, it's really expensive as compared to the price now. The question is, do you just sit around there happy you already bought the Bitcoin you were planning to buy? See, the price right now doesn't stress me out at all because I've got 97% of my liquid net worth in Bitcoin. I don't have any more US dollars that I can invest in Bitcoin. And because I don't have any more US dollars I can invest in Bitcoin, the price doesn't stress me out because it's not like I'm waiting for it to get cheaper to buy some. And the most recent Bitcoin I bought was at 91,000, which was 3 or 4 days ago. So, the reason was a tax refund from 2023, a second tax refund from 2023 came through, and there was about $4,000 or so of it that was unallocated, and I immediately bought Bitcoin with it. I could have just left it in a fiat, bank account, but I immediately bought Bitcoin with it. As soon as I knew I had some leftover cash, I immediately bought Bitcoin with it. And that was at $91,000. And I would do the exact same thing if I suddenly had access to some cash right now, even if it was bumping $95,000, I would just buy it because that is the only thing that has served me well over the years is just to buy the Bitcoin. It always seems expensive when it's high, and it always seems like it's going the wrong direction when it's low. And in retrospect, it was always on sale the whole time. So all you can really do is buy it because it was always on sale the whole time. So have a great day, everyone. Thanks so much.